Hey, today the Arrowhead CEO responds back to the community backlash about the recent Killzone 2 crossover. I'll talk about the newest secret level episode featuring Helldivers and a specific armor. Not only that, I'm going to talk about the Wasp launcher a little bit more, and there's so much more I'll be going over in today's video. If you would like to support the channel, please hit the like button below by tapping the thumbs up button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. So recently I talked about the newest Killzone 2 crossover and how it wasn't well received. The CEO Shams Georgiani has responded back to players on the Helldivers 2 Discord about the pricing. Members brought up how it should have been a war bond instead of, what it is now, just shop items. He first started off by making a statement about the recent feedback by posting this right here. Hey, quick comment on the Helgist stuff. Firstly, this is our first collaboration, so we'll be figuring it out as we go along. Let us know what you'd like to see in the future. Secondly, it's optional. The more of this we sell, the more Illuminate type stuff we can keep dropping for free. Yeah, my first impression about the crossover is that I didn't like it either. The price was quite steep. I believe it's mainly due to the crossover, but that's my best guess. I also made a comment about something similar to this. If you send in your feedback to the Arrowhead team, either through their feedback form or in the surveys when they do drop, they'll listen. They've been generous in the past and have responded back with great patches, free content, and they've listened a lot to what we have to say. What I'll do is leave the feedback form below if you would like to give them your overall thoughts about the recent crossover and whatnot. Again, I'm pretty sure Arrowhead will do the right thing and listen to what we all have to say. Now, the CEO Shams received a few responses from the community about this. One mentioned that Shams shouldn't be planting the possibility of paying for non-collab or content items into the player base's head. In response, Shams wrote back stating that, to be clear, that's not what they're trying to do, and that the better the overall business does, the larger and better the content will be. Overall, it's looking like the whole idea behind this is to essentially release more of these purchasable crossovers so that the content can be a lot bigger and better. That at least is what I'm understanding. Now, I don't know if this is the best way to approach it. It makes sense that they want to improve content, yet I don't believe that they should have dropped this as store items. Instead, make it into a war bond like how it was previously found in the leaked files. However, it's fair to say that the leaks are leaks because you never know what's going to be approved and not approved. Things can change, and that's exactly what we saw recently with the Killzone 2 collab. Now again, as I've said, I'm not a big fan of it, although if you really want the items without spending cash, I suggest you try to farm super credits since these store items will refresh in 5 days from now. Next up, there's another response from a different member basically saying that he shouldn't give the excuse that they need more money since they have made so much money off of Helldivers 2. This player also states that they have made tens of $millions already from selling the game alone and that they love the game and just want mutual respect. So yeah, I completely agree with that. And in response, Shams wrote that he appreciates the support, and it sure does look like he didn't listen to the feedback. Another player brought up how it also appeared that Shams didn't listen to the feedback either and ignored the criticism about the crossover. The CEO replied to that member and said, "The feedback is valid, I'll take it to heart." It appears he agrees that it's valid, so hopefully they're taking in the feedback seriously. I believe Helldivers 2 is on the right path now, and I'd hate to see it all come down because of a crossover or whatever collab they have planned for the future. The game is way too good to just have something like that happen. I did see someone make a comment about paying for the game already, and that they can't just hide behind a $20 skin as if it makes a difference. Shams took note of it, and I believe we're for sure going to see the Arrowhead team react to this in the most positive way, since they have a good track record of improving and listening to the feedback in general. Alright, tracking backwards now, the CEO replied to a player's response about how Shams is trying his best to reassure the situation, but he's only making it worse, and the CEO responded back with, "That wasn't the intent. If we monetize optional stuff, we can cram in more fun core stuff." So for sure, we could tell that the whole intent behind this is to receive more money to create better content. I don't believe this is going to be well received, and it makes sense that they want to create more content for it to be better and larger. However, I think this was probably a mistake to make the Killzone 2 items exclusively shop items, instead of turning it into a war bond basically, which to me, I think would have been a good idea. also without it being a high-priced war bond as well. Nonetheless, Shams explained a bit more about what the intentions were behind the crossover. We can see another post where he wrote, "TY, I hear ya. Our intent was to try different things and see how players respond, how the stuff sells, and improve over time." Now, with what Shams has said right here, the whole idea as of late is that they're experimenting with these shop items. But not only that, they're also taking a look at the war bonds. For instance, in the Urban Legends war bond, we received a heavy armor type and a light armor type, but usually we get a light armor type and a medium armor type. Also, Pilestedt has stated that they've been experimenting with the war bonds, as you can see in this post. Not only did Shams respond to that message, but he also responded to a different player that talked about how it was data mined and how it was actually a war bond. Shams responded back with, "I have no idea at what point it was data mined, but things are in development until they're finished. We considered many options of how to launch it, and this is where we ended up. We'll listen to the feedback and take into account going forwards." I will say it's crazy that they had a bunch of ideas, but they stuck to this one. I think going towards the war bond option probably would have been a better idea overall. There's also another response where one player stated that he's tired of the corporate stuff getting involved, and Shams, he actually responded back with this. "If I may, and I'm being 100% truthful here, everyone F's up from time to time, but PlayStation has been an amazing partner throughout. The game wouldn't exist without them. We've screwed up a few times, they too. But in the end, we all really care about giving you a great game experience." What I'd like to know is, do you think Sony was actually involved here, since we know that they had a bunch of ideas, but they stuck with this one instead? I couldn't tell you what happened here, you know? Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But as of right now, it looks like improvements are going to be discussed and whatnot, so we'll see how things turn out. Lastly, Shams agreed with the player that the crossover items should be priced correctly. Perhaps we'll see improvements soon, or maybe in the next crossover. What do you think about the recent CEO response? Do you think it's justifiable to increase the prices so they can create more content or not? I'd love to know your overall thoughts about it, and let's have a great conversation about it in the comments below. Not only did the CEO respond, Mr. Pilestedt also responded to players on X about the Killzone 2 collaboration. Specifically, the first reply is about the shop rotation. There's a player that wanted to know why it's in shop rotation and how come they cannot create a permanent shop, and that all this does is create fear of missing out. So the chief creative officer responded back with, "The thought was to not overwhelm players with too much stuff like in other games where you go into an in-game store, just show a couple of items and have all the players discuss the items on offering, but I think we have to consider how we group them in the future." I'm just going to say this right now, I personally wouldn't feel overwhelmed at all if there was a permanent shop page that features the newest crossovers or whatever they have planned. There would be no fear of missing out. You would be able to slowly get the items over time if you're not too big into farming for super credits. Or let's say you are a fan of farming, you would be able to get it decently fast. That would have been a smart move in my opinion if they did this. With that being said, there is some good news about the situation overall. The team is discussing ideas and looking at all the feedback currently. You can see a post here that says something about a special edition store for collaboration items. Pilestedt responded to that player and said something like that, and maybe bundled into a pack of some sort. But time will tell. The team is working on ideas and reading all the feedback as we speak. Well, I'd say it's safe to assume the developers have opened their ears once again, and I'm pretty sure things will be improved. I for sure see them responding back with positive intentions and readjusting the way shop items work right now for crossovers. It's all a learning process, it seems, for them at least, to figure out what will work and won't work and how it's received from the community. Overall, I don't think it was a great idea to release the crossover how it is. However, as long as they're willing to look at the feedback and improve, then I don't see anything negative about the situation altogether. I'm still a fan of Helldivers too, no matter what, and I suspect they'll do the right thing. With that being said, how do you feel about it? Do you think they'll do right and make sure the player base is well received by adjusting the shop or not? Let me know your thoughts. Now on a different topic, the newest secret level episodes have dropped recently, and there's a Helldiver in the clip that's wearing a yellow armor we have never seen before. You can tell there are 3 Helldivers with the basic armor that we've already seen, but the cheese diver here looks slightly different, nothing we've ever seen. I wonder if they're planning on dropping this armor for free, just like they did with the Eagle armor set. However, it's fair to say that maybe Arrowhead didn't have a say about what's going on in this clip, as well as they didn't animate it. Who knows if we'll see it, but it's an armor I'd love to have. Next up, what I'd like to talk about is the Wasp Launcher. Okay, I did notice that there was an additional feature with it. You can actually open up the extra menu here and choose different modes to fire from. Yep, my mistake, but I thought I'd correct myself and actually tell you guys it's really amazing. Yet what I can't wait for is to try it out on the bots and the bugs, but eventually maybe it'll happen, who knows. I believe this will be a reward we'll be receiving at some point, who knows when. Once it's available, I'll be sure to test out everything properly and show you guys what's going on with it. Is it good or bad with the bots and bugs? So basically, all that good stuff, really. We're now going to talk about a potential nerf or a secret nerf. So you guys recall the stratagem blockers, right? We've been on the Illuminate planets for so long. Hopefully you guys haven't forgot about them. Well, if you have, guess what? You can no longer blow them up if a fabricator is attached to them. Yep, so feel free to try it out for yourself and let me know what you think. But as of recent, I couldn't blow one up. I tried it in the last patch. I don't know about the recent patch. However, that's a main problem right now on the bot planet. So give it a go. Let me know your thoughts about that as well. And if you have experienced the same situation. We're now going to continue forward. We have an updated known issue list that was updated this morning. The developers are fully aware of the stuttering that can happen when aiming in first person mode. If you check out the Arrowhead Zendesk site, the support team wrote, aiming in first person may have stuttering, jittery movement. So this right here, I've experienced the same bug, and I believe this either happened recently after a hotfix patch dropped, or it could have been when the very first Illuminate patch dropped after the Game Awards announcement. Nonetheless, if you have experienced this same issue, it's on the known issue list, and the developers are definitely looking into it. With all the information being shared, this is your Helldivers 2 news. We're now going to check out the top 3 comments. If you guys would like to be featured, all you have to do is comment down below. What we have first is a comment by Redstone Ninja 3752. Helldivers added cities to the game and the inflation skyrocketed. This response is all due to the crossover, and I don't blame anyone about this. I mean, all the comments I've read so far are hilarious, and we're going to get into more right here. The second top comment is from Tapanko5673. Sweet Liberty, this is super inflation. And last but not least, Prickly Pringle 12 before collab. Dear Liberty, my leg. After collab, Dear Liberty, my money. Yeah, so a lot of these comments were just hilarious to read, and thank you guys for commenting it. It's quite funny, but nonetheless, I'm sure things are going to improve as time goes on, so just hold on for just a little bit, and I'm sure we'll see improvements. So those right there are the top 3 comments. If you guys haven't already done so, give this video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.